First rule about sauna club: never tell anyone about sauna club. Except for your finished sauna, Tonto. Kimi Räikkönen. Ooga booga, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Oh, yes. Whoa. Oh, the waterfall's frozen over. Completely. Whoa. Oh, with your own sauna going in the background. It's good to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be alive.
I am James ALOFS. I left the big city to build an off-grid homestead on 40 acres of Canadian wilderness. This area of Ontario has giant ridgelines, deep valleys, and pure rivers. Black bears, gray wolves, mountain lions, moose, and many forest spirits share the land. I started in November 2023. Starting with a modest 12 by 16 foot guest cabin, my goal is to build such a glorious homestead that I attract a magnificent wife, have several military-grade babies, and raise our Swiss mountain dog, Clovis. Welcome to Wild Homestead.
Oh no, this post is in the way of making this cut. 92 inches. Okay. That's good. Looks like this double 2x6 slants slightly in. So, hello everyone, how you doing? I'm gonna have to go back to the hardware store tonight with King Clovis and get some shorter pipes because these pipes are way too long. I got 4.5, 6, and 8-inch pipes, and I kind of just, back of my mind calculations thinking in the store, I'm like, that should cover all the possibilities. But really, I need a chunk of pipe that is kind of around 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Good boy, good boy. Okay, sit, stay. Okay, good boy, good boy. Clovis, is that tasty? Is that tasty, buddy? Yeah. Hi. We are on a 100% sausage diet, ladies and gentlemen. All sausages, all the time. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Snow, always snowing in Canada. Literally every cup of coffee that I've made over the past, is it month? At least month. I've been mixing in with this prime protein from Equip Foods. Literally made with grass-fed beef, and there's only 3 other ingredients. So this one is the chocolate flavor. They also do iced coffee, strawberry, and vanilla. There's just the grass-fed beef, cocoa powder, and stevia extract. It's very clean. There's not a bunch of different fillers. You guys can check it out. I know Sean James from My Self-Reliance is also drinking this stuff every day. But you can check it out at equipfoods.com/wildhomestead. And if you use the code WILDHOMESTEAD, you can get 20% off your first order or 35% off your first subscription. I'm literally having 2 scoops of this stuff every day. I think it's fantastic.
Whoa.
Come on, Clovis. Come. Clovis, come. Boy. It's not as good as berries and cherries, but pretty damn delicious. Whoop. Okay, folks. The ladder, as far as I can tell, ooh, that's a lot of sawdust, is done. Now, the piping, I think we can actually move up a size. I have 3/4 inch piping, but doing this by hand, by eye rather, the routing out of this material, I've checked and this is just over 1 inch. So I think we might actually try a larger diameter piping. Hi, good morning. Hello. Okay, we gotta relight the fire. The fire went out. Yeah. What are you doing? Hey. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey. No. We're out of WOLFMILK. Oh, no.
We're just gonna have to go to Finland, you guys. We're gonna have to go to Finland and get some more WOLFMILK.
Oh, yeah. Bro. So I think I might trim down the top so I can slide it closer to the wall. My original plan, the original plan that I saw on Instagram was there was a fellow who had a loft ladder like this, and it basically was cut off like right here. The top was flush with his loft. But then I was like, wait a minute, that's not necessary. Why not have the ladder continue to go up? So I don't know how high I want it to go, because I think eventually I will have railings up there. But it would be nice to have at least a little bit of a nub so it can lock in between railings. And then when you lift the ladder up like this, when it's straight up and down, you can slide it as far as you can to get it flush against the wall. So for my research on ChatGPT and Google, in terms of the slope of the ladder, what I found was it's best to have a 4-to-1 ratio. So this is 8 feet to the top of the sleeping loft. So therefore, if it's 8 feet, you want 2 units or 2 feet out at the base. In terms of the steps, I kind of saw advice that said loft stairs, you want kind of between 23 and 27 inches. So I went with 24. And then the spacing of the steps, I saw recommendations basically averaging around 14 inches in terms of the spacing between the steps. Can you lift it with one arm? Yeah. But it's much easier with two. And just slide it over. Slide it to the middle. Slide it out, and then it's cut properly on the bottom. And just go up. I'm thinking about also maybe putting a piece of rubber or plastic along here so this doesn't chew up the 3/4 inch plywood. We can also get a little piece of like rubber boot, I think, for each bottom so it doesn't scratch up the oak flooring. And but yeah, man, I like it. It's a whole lot safer and easier than getting up on this sketchy ladder, especially with such a big drop to get down. I can't tell the number of times it wobbled and I nearly died. So this gets us up here much more nicely. Okay, I think that's better. That's pretty darn good. I think that's pretty darn good. It's a very small, look, there's not any that much. So that's pretty much as flush as we can get. That frees up a lot of room. Thoughts and prayers, it's just under -20 right now. Ho ho! Heck yeah! Heck yeah! We're in business, baby. Gotta let her warm up for a bit here. guys, a lot of these branches that I'm trimming now or having difficulties with now, in the summer, nowhere near these branches. I just checked the meteorological station last night for this area. We've had 17 feet of snow, which is a record for this point to basically like the third week in February. If we get only 4 more feet of snow before the end of the winter, it will set a new record for this part of the province, central Ontario. So that's nuts. Like right now, we are probably standing on top of probably 4 feet of snow, compacted, because at the meteorological station, they measure snowfall like in those little like test tube things. So it falls down, they measure it, but out here in the wild, right, the snow, it compacts way down. No! Oh my goodness.
How you doing? How you doing? You sleeping? Were you sleeping? Oh,
Guys, just finished recording a podcast with Angelo and Pete from Fishing Canada. It's one of, if not the biggest television fishing shows in Canada. I grew up watching it with my parents on Saturday mornings here in Canada. It's wild. They somehow became aware of the YouTube channel, Wild Homestead. So just did an hour-long podcast with those guys, video podcast, but over the old Starlink, and ran down the battery. So got to recharge the battery here with the Honda generator, but I'll post it on my Instagram when it comes out. I think it's going to come out in about a week. But we talked about an hour all about, you know, the homestead and the journey. So I've never really done long-form conversations like that before about this whole, you know, adventure that I'm on right now. But I think it's pretty interesting. So you guys can check that out. I'll be posting it on my Instagram probably in about a week. Okay, guys, we're going to be putting out our 2 trail cameras. I've been putting this off for so long. There's dozens of potential good spots on this property. But in my experience of, I've been putting up trail cameras for about 5 years now. You got to look for, the easiest place to look for when putting up trail cameras is game trails. Now, Thor's Red Oak is right over there. You saw us come in with the drone, not too far from the cabin up the ATV trail. But there's all these animal prints coming in here. And actually, there's a game trail. It's literally, you can see there's a path worn into the moss that comes right through the forest here, and it keeps on going into the forest in the other direction. Look at that. That looks like rabbit tracks. These, I think, are probably rabbit tracks too. But this was definitely like a highway for critters. Whoa! That's how deep the snow is, folks. That's literally right to my crotch. Holy. Okay, folks, so excellent. It's got good signal, as you can see. Green is good signal, and we're shooting out basically right to this spot here. There was rabbit tracks going by, and this is kind of like it's following the game trail in the middle of the summer. The worn path in the moss is right down here. Now for the next camera, again, we're gonna have to get dozens of cameras going, guys, but in the summertime, I cleared this second trail, and the trail actually goes all the way down to the river at a more northerly spot, but I'm gonna put it along this trail somewhere and see if we can't get something going down here. The trail that I cut in the summer, at the back of the field, it comes along this ridge line, and then it goes straight down here. See, this is good, lots of rabbit track down here. Oh my goodness, look, there's the cabin. Huh. Here we go, found the trail. You can see, it comes down here where I trimmed off the branches on this tree. Nice maple tree. Beautiful, gotta come back and free them up. Cut down the balsam firs around them. Okay folks, you see here's this meadow. There's quite a bit of a forest over here. On the other side is the river. You can see the river is kind of over there behind those tag alders. Okay, we made it across the meadow. You see, this is where the trail goes down through here. Trying a new trick, getting him to stay in the crate. Food. Okay, good boy, yes. Whoa, so I'm reading this book about the evolutionary biology of storytelling. And what this author, he's an evolutionary biologist, argues is that storytelling is essentially a mechanism to teach humans about empathy. Empathy being defined as understanding why other humans do what they do. And he argues that this is the number one skill, empathy, of a human being. And that in today's world, competing and collaborating with other human beings is the number one determinant of any human being's success. It determines our access to food, resources, status, mates, everything. And he said it doesn't happen with any other species on Earth in that regard, that it changed for us at the end of the last ice age, because during the last ice age, and for most of our existence on this planet as a species, there has been many very large predatory animals like scimitar cats, saber-toothed tigers, short-faced bears. These were enormous predatory creatures that killed humans all the time. But at the end of the last ice age, for various reasons, most of these megafauna predators went extinct. And then after that point, yeah, there's other competitive species with humans, but really the biggest competitor for any human is other humans out there. And then the biggest collaborators are also other humans. So understanding why other humans do what they do is literally will determine everything in your life, how successful, how well fed, everything that you are. So he argues that storytelling is essentially a story is a simulation of reality,
and you're running certain characters through these simulations against all of these different kind of challenges, right? Challenges of themselves, of nature, of other human beings. And the most powerful stories, the stories we love the most, the stories that stick around for decades or centuries, those stories give humans the most deep and powerful insights about human nature, aka about empathy. So they help us understand why other humans do what they do. So he interestingly defines sympathy in another way. So if empathy is understanding what other humans do what they do, why they do what they do, sympathy is empathy plus you're rooting for the other person. So for example, many people would probably have empathy for Joseph Stalin in that you want to know, why did this guy do all these crazy evil things, right? Very few people would have sympathy for Joseph Stalin because you want to know why he did what he did, but you're not rooting for the guy. The guy was a mass murderer. So that's a very interesting distinction there. So I just think that this argument is fascinating. I don't know if there's any counter arguments to it, but empathy being our number one skill as a human being, whether you realize it or not, and storytelling being a vehicle to learn empathy, that's fascinating.
Hi. Good boy. Good boy. Lady.
Honestly, I think this is the best flavor yet. It just makes your coffee taste like an absolute milkshake.
Guys, we got this really nice piece of, this is Southern Yellow Pine, 2x12. It was hard, man, at the hardware store. Most of these things are warped to all bajangus, and this thing was actually quite nice. But I just used this is called a hunter's axe. This is from Hultafors Bruk in Sweden, a handmade axe. This is the first axe I ever bought when I moved back from China. I think in the year, when was that? That was 2019 or 2020. So I really love this axe. It was my first few experiences, backcountry camping. I brought this guy. So great axe. Anyways, just kind of
smoothed out the face up there so there's a flat face to lie on. You can see the checks. There's a pretty big check here, and there's another sizable check here in this upper log. And it's kind of concerning because I don't want to be sinking either my lag bolt, right? Because you've got 2 half-inch lag bolts through the other header boards on the rest of the loft floor. And then we've got these 5-inch header lock screws. I don't want to be drilling into the check marks here. So I want to have to kind of like line it up straight on this face. And then I'm really going to be relying on this second log here because it's pretty perfect. There's like basically no checks in it whatsoever. So I think I'm actually going to bolt through this log as opposed to the top one and just sink a few strategic header lock screws up there. Now I make sure to check the rest of that log on the outside to see, should we even be doing this? Should we even be messing with this log? And I think the good news is that as soon as that log exits out of the building to the outside, it's in really good shape. There's really no checks in it whatsoever. It's really solid. You can see the face of it here. It's solid. And then also critically on the outside here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's a really solid log on the outside here. There's basically no checking whatsoever. So it's pretty solid, I think. If there was checking going on, all the way to the end, and then there was also like big checks on the outside, honestly, I don't think we should even do this loft floor if we have to secure into that top log, because it'd just be too risky. There's a lot of weight on this log. It's a very important log being the top log. So I think we're going to be okay there as long as we're strategic with how we're bolting in and screwing in. And then the good news is over here, these 2 top logs are really nice. There's no real checking to speak of. So I think we're good to go over here. Okay. Little high. Little high. Oh, heck yeah. That's oh yeah. Oh yeah, man, that's a lot better. Holy Rachel Reeves, Chancellor of the Exchequer. That is what we'll call a bullseye, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, where are you going? Guys, you see these two bolts, the two carriage bolts that we used on the first part of the, what is it called? The loft floor header boards. The reason that these ones were so easy to do is because we were drilling in from the outside, right? Because that 2x12 is a huge target. And then these 7 or 8 inch diameter logs, the perfect center of the outside is maybe only an inch or inch and a half, where you're kind of hitting right in that center of the log. So it's a much harder target to hit when you're drilling from the inside. But because we've already got the soffit and the roof built up, that's the only option, is to do it from the inside, because that drill bit is so long. Because we were unable to shave down the top log, like if you look here, you see how we shaved that down on the original one. If you can see that, it's to make the two flush. We were unable to do that here because of the checking in those cracks, right? We didn't want to shave too deeply into that to further destabilize that top log. So I'm using shims on the bottom. You can see I've shimmed this up here, and then I've shimmed this up here where the bolts are going through. So there's flush pressure there. Found so far is that dealing with shims, that plywood is quite good because it doesn't crack when putting screws or screw bolts like this thing through it. Ho ho! Bullseye! Hey, Clovis! What you looking at? Crazy man? There we go. Oh, look how much snow there is. Look at this. Hello. So guys, I think that's as far as we can get on the two boards today. We've got 4 timber lock screws and 1 carriage bolt through this side. And then we've got 2 carriage bolts and 4 timber lock screws on this side. Because remember, we're having to shim with plywood so that the bottom logs in particular are flush with the board, just like the top log is. So I only have 3/4 inch plywood in reserve right now. So I think to continue, we're gonna need to get some 1/2" and 1/4" stuff. Joe, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Offensive zone opportunity here.
Moment of truth. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Whoa, that was close to the soffit. Okay, folks, I'm feeling good about these header boards now. We got the 2 lag bolts in the penultimate log there, and then we got, what is it, like 4 or 5 along the top, 4 or 5 along the bottom. We got the same thing over here. We did make that mistake on the drilling position here. I think I'm going to get 1 more long lag bolt and just put it through there. The other ones I think will look good. It's more than enough. I think it's over-engineered for sure. But I'm excited to get up this loft floor. This is going to be so much more storage room. A huge help. I'm planning mainly for clothing storage. So the first thing we're going to do, I think next week, is going to finish off this floor. But the other thing we're going to do, one of the other things we're going to do, is the following. So my question for you guys is, how would you build the legs for this thing? Because when you Google and chat GPT it, like there's tons of different options. But if you guys have any experience building a simple table that's very sturdy, how would you guys do it? We got some 2x8s lying around. We got some 2x6s. Also, we got logs. So any suggestions, please leave in the comments.
Well, next week, we're going to have 5 days with the temperatures above 0. So we're going to be able to start battling harder, faster, now that some of these snows are starting to recede. So see you next week on Wild Homestead, everybody. May the gods bless you, both the old gods and the new. Strength and honor to you all. And remember the following 9 words and 17 syllables. I said them to every single one of my 9 ex-wives, and they love me to this day for it. Ooga booga.